Okay, class. I'm still on my way back. It's been quite a trip. At any rate, I'm doing one video for all the classes. I couldn't get the satellite to work at Burning Man. It's very, very deep in the desert. And when I get back, I'll show you a map, and we can look at also the layout of the city. It's a temporary city that's built, and that's really the topic of this video. Why do people come together in the middle of nowhere to experience something? Forget about they state that about every pilgrimage through history, by the way. Oh, it's all about sex and forget that. Nobody goes through that much trouble for that. Believe me, it's way easier back home. So, it's in the middle of a desert, in the middle of nowhere. I mean, this desert, you'll see videos and things that I'll be showing you, and nothing grows there. And it's not the only event like this. Throughout history, humans have done this. They come together to have an experience. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche was one of the first ones in the Western tradition that pointed out, and he called it the satyr procession, and he said it was his instinct for people to go into the forest, as he put it, and forest, of course, a metaphor for on the margins, to experience the paradox that lies at the heart of existence. It sounds very highfalutin, but it's very accurate, and people have done this forever. For instance, in our world music class, we looked at the Kumbh Mela. The Kumbh Mela is the largest gathering of humans on the planet, ever. Think about that. They get together for what? Now, the interesting thing that anthropologists are now looking at, we once thought that the origins of cities was agriculture. That people started thinking it was easier to plant things and stay put than it was to keep foraging or to keep trailing herds. Or trailing herds in the early stages or leading the herds later on. But they're thinking maybe not. The origins of cities may have been that the tribes would come together at a specific time, maybe once a year, maybe less. And they would have these massive celebrations that seemed to be ecstatic. Seemed to be. I mean, we can't know exactly. But we know, for instance, the Kumbh Mela, it's a lot of things, but definitely it's about the ecstatic experience. We looked at the Gypsy pilgrimage, Marie-sur-la-Mer. We looked at the Rocio that I studied in Spain, definitely the ecstatic experience. But in our American popular music class, we also looked at the Great Awakenings. What characterized the Great Awakenings? Camp meetings. People went again, just as Nietzsche said, into the forest, literally, and created these temporary cities, usually about 3 days. Well, what did they do? They sang, they preached, they became ecstatic, whatever. Edith Turner, the wife of the famous anthropologist Victor Turner, had something really interesting to say about sacred ritual. It's very succinct. She said, sacred ritual, the purpose of sacred ritual is to raise life force. You've seen the same thing all over the world among for instance, the Bushmen of the Kalahari. 4 or 5 nights of just nothing but music and ritual to raise up an energy supposed to be to heal people with. Regardless of whether you think it does or not, we've talked a lot about this with in the world music class about the relationship between emotions and music and consciousness. But remember, emotions and consciousness is not the only link. Emotions and health. Cultivating, structuring, improving your emotional state is a very strong step towards, I don't want to say you don't heal a broken bone that way, but you do make yourself healthier, more resistant, stronger. And that's really the first step in any healing process.